Yo, yo, yo. Passport Paulie after dark. Ah, fuck. My ear hurts. Doesn't matter. That's like. How many people are you ringing? Just 4? Is this the same person? Yo, like, how's it going, guys? Put in any questions you guys have. Any questions you guys have, we can start answering these questions. I just need to respond to some emails. My ear hurts like hell. I, dude, I went to a steakhouse today. Yo, I like, I hate to do this, but I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to say that Bolivia sucks, man. Like, I'm not really feeling the vibes on Bolivia, and typically, like, I wouldn't really be so harsh. I'll just kind of say like it's whatever. What's really getting me about it is just like I haven't had a single really good meal my entire time in Bolivia. And that's becoming unacceptable. Like I haven't had a single like I was thinking about this. So me and my wife we went to this restaurant today. It was like kind of a nice restaurant. Like we paid like $60 for 2 people, which is like a lot in South America. And I was leaving the restaurant and like, I was like kind of happy with it, but I was just like, I have no interest in going to that restaurant again. And I'm like, I haven't been to a single I've chat GPT content never been out in America to look at him. What they always find funny is that people assume like it's the weirdest insult ever. It's like he's fat, so he's never traveled, and it's like like what do obesity and traveling have to do with each other? You know what I mean? Like those two have no actual relation with each other. Like what do you mean? Like look at him. He's never actually traveled. But anyway, just random trolls. But anyway, so I'm in Bolivia, and I was thinking about it. I was just like, I haven't been to a single restaurant here that I thought to myself, man, I need to come back here. And I'm like, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? It kind of sucks that I just have not been blown away by any like culinary experience here. Even the worst countries that I've been to, even the worst countries that I've been to, there have been some places that we've been to that we were like, yeah, we got to get back here. Laos is probably the one exception, but I also just didn't like Laos. But like the Philippines, I shit on the Philippines constantly. But the Philippines had some great meals. The Philippines had some top tier meals that I think about today. So anyway, that's kind of how I feel about Bolivia. Um anyway, how do I not get nervous at all? How do I get nervous of about what? About, like, traveling, about talking to women? Like, here's the thing, man, like, you have all these people will tell you all these things, and, like, maybe you should listen to them, like, maybe you should listen to them, but, like, I'm not gonna coddle you when it comes to being nervous. That's not the type of person that I am. Um, like, I'm gonna tell you that you just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and just tell yourself, "Stop being a little bitch." You know what I mean? Like, fundamentally, that's the thing that's gonna stop you from being nervous around hot girls, is you looking yourself in the mirror and just saying, "Bro, we," and by that I mean you and me, and by that I mean you and your reflection in the mirror, "We need to stop being such little bitches." And that's what's gonna stop it, to be honest. Like like like, the reason why I'm not nervous anymore, I used to be nervous a lot in my life, but the reason why I'm not nervous anymore is because, yeah, dude, Liverpool. The reason why I'm not nervous anymore in my life is I literally just, whenever I get that nervous feeling, whenever I get those, like, butterflies or whatever, I literally just tell myself, "Stop being a little bitch." And then, like, it's done, you know what I mean? So, it takes some practice, but that is a solution to it. Again, like, this is kind of tough love, right? There are a lot of people who be like, you need to recenter yourself and you need to, yada. It's just, no, you need to be like, yo, stop being a pussy. Like, this girl is a little is like, she's here for the taking. Either you're gonna take her or someone else's. It's easy as that. Does that answer your question? Like, do you feel good about that or not? What's Christmas like in Brazil? Christmas in South America is honestly, like, not that popping because people are actually really religious in countries like Brazil. And so, like, one thing that a lot of people don't know, I should make a video about this. It's actually a really good idea. A lot of people don't know is that in South America, everything is closed on Sundays. I mean, like, there are obviously places where, like, it's not closed, you know what I mean? But, like, most of the time, everything is closed on Sundays. And the reason for that is because Sunday's the day of rest, you know what I mean? And they take that, like, pretty seriously in Latin America. So, like, I literally have had days, so this actually is actually a funny story. That's happened to me. Like, my computer charger broke one day, right? And, like, I had to go get a new one. And I was in the city called Victoria, which is a small enough city that, like, it's hard on a normal day to get like a computer charger, right? But, like, I was going around and, like, I found out that it was, like, some, like, Catholic holiday, like, the feast of the Virgin something, whatever, and, like, nothing was open. Like, nothing was open, right? Like, that's how serious they take this stuff. So like, you're gonna realize that once you come down here. And I'm even in Rio de Janeiro, even in Copacabana, everything is closed. In Bogota now, Gov slamming baddies daily, easy money, baby. Nice job, dude. Nice job, Kobe. What does Vietnam have that Philippines doesn't? Vietnam is just a very competently run country, and the Philippines are not. The Philippines are just really incompetent and disorganized. And so, you really like it's a really unpleasant experience going around the Philippines because nothing works, everything's falling apart, and everything's kind of ugly because they don't really care about maintaining their infrastructure. While Vietnam has its problems and there are areas that are poor and, like, they look poor, but for the most part in Vietnam they care about, like, having things be nice. So, um is Europe really become Asian? Oh, yeah, South Asian, not like East Asian. Christmas is huge in Colombia, but everyone's fake religious. Yeah, I mean, that's an issue, but, what do you think about Morocco, like Marrakesh? Bro, I've answered this question so many times. I love Morocco. Morocco is like if I were to make a list of my 5 top 5 places for people to go to in 2026, Morocco's on that list. I absolutely love Morocco. And I have a video on my channel where I walk you through like everything you guys should be doing in Marrakesh. I'll show you guys it right now. So, if you're thinking about going to Marrakesh, go to my channel and, go to my YouTube channel here. Let me share this. I mean, the people on my YouTube, I'm not gonna share because you're literally on my YouTube, so like you can like just see it. But people who are on my TikTok, I'm gonna share this. I've kind of lost a step because my ear hurts so much. So I want you guys to know that. Like I have like a huge ear problem. But yeah, so you see over here, going to Marrakesh, watch this first. Like if you're gonna go to Marrakesh, just watch that video first. And it's gonna tell you everything you need to know about going to Marrakesh. You're gonna have a great time. Um, um, Best city for long term with a high concentration of Moreno and Afro Latinas. Salvador. Is Kuala Lumpur worth visiting? Yeah, Kuala Lumpur is like at the top of my list. I love Kuala Lumpur. I would 100% go back to Kuala Lumpur in a moment. One thing I love about Kuala Lumpur, I talk about this a lot, is that there are a lot of places where, like, for example, this happens in Thailand. You land in Thailand, and you kind of have this feeling that you're playing with Monopoly money. And so what happens is you start paying a lot of money, you start doing everything. You don't really care and you don't really concentrate on money when you're in Thailand. And then like 3 or 4 days goes by and then like you're just like, "Let me check my bank account." And you're like, "Wait, I spent that much money?" Like I had no idea I was spending that much money. But like everything that you did, like these were all small purchases, but they all added up, right? So that's what happens in Thailand a lot. That's why I tell people to like be like more nervous, not more nervous, like more cautious in Thailand because Thailand is a lot better at like taking your money. But Kuala Lumpur is a country like I literally remember. So we were actually in like a tough economic time when we were in Kuala Lumpur, and I remember like checking my bank account on Wednesday. We landed on Sunday, checking my account on Wednesday, like expecting it to be like the worst, expecting to like kind of get like a semi heart attack. It was like I had like $300 more than I thought we did in there. I was so happy about that. And so there's one building in Kuala Lumpur that everyone seems to stay at. It has this like perfect view of like the Petronas Towers, but Kuala Lumpur is the best, man. I've not been to Waiakal. Um, would you visit Sri Lanka? Yeah, dude, I'd visit any country. I would even go back to every single country. Best country for Afro Latinas. I don't know, man. Like Dominican Republic. Food is great and cheap in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, dude. Kuala Lumpur um is one of the best food places in the world. And the reason for that is because you have there are basically 3 cultures in Kuala Lumpur, right? There's the ethnic Malaysians, there's Indians, and there's Chinese. And say what you will about Indians, they make great food, right? And so you kind of have this triangle, and every restaurant that you go is like somewhere on this triangle of Malay, Indian, and Chinese influence, and it creates just like some of the best cuisine you'll ever have in your entire life. Stay away from South America, Middle East. What do you mean by that? Bro, I've been to both South America and Middle East. I'm in South America right now. What are you talking about? Ever done a Slavic tour? Yeah, dude. I'm Slavic. I'm my last. I'm Polish. I spent 3 months in Poland this year. Is Brazil a 2026 visit? Me and my friends are going, but I'm kind of leaning to a cheaper vacation. That's a good question. Brazil can be a little bit pricey. You can do Brazil cheaply, but it's a little difficult to do it like really cheaply. That being said, it's like there's not really going to be that much of a cheaper vacation, especially if you're going for like a week or two than Brazil. Just because like if you go to Asia, like the cheapest places to go are in Asia, but the problem is that the plane tickets are so expensive, right? But if you guys are okay with it, what I would say if you want a really cheap vacation, go to Da Nang, Vietnam. You will pay a lot of money for the plane tickets, but you will not spend any money. Like legitimately, if you and your friends, if you went to Da Nang, Vietnam, you and your friends could each bring $100, and you would be fine for a week in Da Nang, Vietnam. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. Like you can legitimately you could spend a week in Da Nang, Vietnam, and spend $50 in a week easily. And I'm not even talking about being super, super, super duper thrifty. Like you have to be a little thrifty, sure, but like you can spend a week in Da Nang, Vietnam and spend $50. Me and my wife, we would go to dinner, and for the two of us, we would spend 200,000 dong, which is about $4. Right? So think about that, right? So a dinner for two people, two entrees, an appetizer and two drinks. So it's a full dinner, $4. So if you were to, so that basically means that like, what are your necessities per day when you're when on vacation? Is just dinner, right? So if you were to like lunch and dinner, right? So if you were to go to Da Nang, Vietnam, you could legitimately just pay $4 a day for lunch and dinner. Four times seven, that's 28. You can legitimately stay a week in Da Nang for $28 plus Airbnb costs and all that type of stuff. So if you're really trying to save money, Vietnam is the location. Obviously, you're not going to actually spend $35. You're gonna go to a couple of nice restaurants. The nicer restaurants in Da Nang are a little bit more, not like more expensive, but they are more expensive than $4, right? You're probably gonna want to buy, shit. You're probably gonna want to go to Hoi An, all that type of stuff. But you can easily do Da Nang $300 in a week. Like if you were in Da Nang for a week and you spent $300, you would have like the perfect amount of money and you wouldn't really care about spending it. So Ashley, I would say go to Da Nang. Don't visit Venezuela. Have I been to West or Central Africa? No. What's my beef with Indians? I just started a rant about them. I mean, I was pretty clear about my beef with India in my rant, man. Like what one problem that I guess I have with like Indians, like by the way, Hood and Beast, thanks for the I love AR, is that like Indians are insisting on moving and living in America and transforming America into India. And while they're doing that, they're doing this propaganda thing where they're lying about Indian culture. And as somebody who has been to India, I feel like it's kind of my duty to like speak plainly and clearly about Indian culture. And if Americans decide that they want Indians and they want America to turn into India, that's perfectly fine. That's your prerogative as a people. But I just want you to be clear about what that entails, right? It entails a country that's really, really shitty. About not enjoying the experience of Poland. Why was this? I'd like to meet Polish ladies. Um, I don't know, man. I'm Polish, so I'm just kind of like, I just don't like it. That you weren't going live tonight. That you did. Oh yeah, dude. I wasn't planning on going live tonight, but So me and my wife, we went out to dinner today, and like I got kind of drunk, to be honest with you. I passed out and she passed out, and I woke up literally at like 11, which is 10 p.m. your time. I was like, fuck it, I'll go live for a little bit. I'll see what's up. Your content changed my life. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I heard Vietnam is very underrated. Vietnam is 100% safe. All of East Asia is incredibly safe. Here's one thing that I'm doing, or here's one promise I'm gonna give to you, my viewers, which is that like I am not going to lie to you in the name of political correctness, right? If there are groups that have certain cultural characteristics, I'm not going to lie to you and say that they don't. If those groups want me to stop saying that they have those cultural characteristics, they are more than welcome to stop having those cultural characteristics. But insofar as they do, I'm going to be telling the truth about that. And the fact of the matter is, Latin America, I love Latin America. I'm living in Latin America. I'm married to a Latina. I'm planning on raising my kids in Latin America. It's a beautiful place with beautiful people, but it is dangerous. And it is dangerous because Latinos are more predisposed to crime than other parts of the world. That's just a fact, right? And, we can talk about the factors that led to that, but that is just a fact. And East Asia is one of the safest places on planet Earth. I would say East Asia is the safest place on planet Earth because the people there have a huge disposition to not committing crime. They do not steal. Like they don't steal from you. They don't cheat. They don't do anything like that. You won't get robbed. The only danger that you have to face in East Asia is from Americans. Those are the only people that are going to cause you trouble. The Asians themselves are not going to cause you any trouble. So Vietnam is 100% safe, I guess is the long way of saying that. What is your opinion of rub maps? I don't know what rub maps is, but I can guarantee you America raised the price for women. Yeah, 100%. I bought I bought a bottle of wine. And my wife doesn't drink to start with, but also on top of that, we're trying to, like, have kids, so we never, like, know if she's pregnant or not because like, we're actively trying, like, every day. So, she couldn't drink, so I just, like, tried to kill the entire bottle of wine. I completely failed. I only did, like, half or, like, a third just because I'm such a lightweight now, just because me and my wife don't really drink. So, I also have this, like, ear infection, and ear infections really screw with your sense of balance, which makes it a lot easier for you to throw up. And so I started feeling nauseous at a certain point, and I was just like, all right, we're cutting the cord on this. If you bring the ideology of changing America to India, they 100% do. And you do it. First of all, Indians in America form ethnic enclaves, right? Which means when you form an ethnic enclave in another country, what you're doing is you're taking a specific area and you're turning that into your former country. And if you refuse to assimilate, then you're doing that one step further. Don't like, dude, we're not. This isn't the place for bullshit. Don't fucking bullshit me. Okay? Don't bullshit me. I won't bullshit you. Just stop it. God fucking damn it, man. Anyway, where in the USA would you go? This entire channel is about traveling abroad, dude. Where's the safest place in South America? Um, Probably Costa Rica, I would say. Uruguay is also pretty safe, yeah. What's PPLs? I don't know what PPL is. Rub Maps is a website that tells you what massage parlors have rub and tug service. Okay, I mean, like in Asia, here's um okay, that's a good question, but um so I'm just gonna answer this Rub Max question quickly. Like in Asia, you'll be able to tell what places are rub and tugs. You can tell that very easily. You know what I mean? Like there's no ambiguity about it in Asia. So don't worry about it. What's people's deal with race mixing with Latinas? Like Nick Flint is they're mixed. Yeah, I mean people who are not purely white, like white people who aren't purely white always have this huge hang up about not being purely white. I mean he'll say I'm not purely white because I'm Polish. I mean, okay. I mean, my family has been from Central Europe for thousands of years. So, I mean, I'm white, and I just don't think it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like I think that like and this is the problem that I have with a lot of people like Nick Fuentes is they will put themselves up as Christians, and then they will talk about how they're against things like race mixing. But the whole idea of Christianity is that we're all equal in front of God, right? We're all like, if you accept Jesus Christ as your personal savior, you and me are absolutely equal people. And so, I and like we can have an argument, we can have a conversation about like immigration, whether people should be living in one other place or whatever. Okay, fine. That's a separate conversation. But like the conversation about like, you know, the worth of individuals, if you're if like the whole point of Christianity is that like once you punch your card, you're in, right? So I just think this whole narrative where he's talking about race mixing is just um very counterproductive, right? I think fundamentally you should marry the person that you love that you're in love with. And if she's in a similar race, good. If she's in another race, good. If she's kind of in the middle of your race and another race, that's fine. I mean, you can say that I'm just biased because me and my wife are race mixing because she's a Latina, but I mean, first of all, she's Spanish and Italian. So again, she's more white than Nick Fuentes is, but I just think it's a silly type of way of looking at the world. You know what I mean? But um people in America make race bigger deal than it is. 100%, dude. That's one of the nice things honestly about traveling abroad is that you realize that the Nick Fuenteses are just the opposite side of the coin of all the DEI people that you find so annoying. You know what I mean? Like all these people, all they're talking about is race. And you just like once you leave America and you stop hearing about it constantly, you're just so happy. At least I am. I'm tired of constantly hearing about race. It's what I hated about living in America is that people would literally just like start sentences with like, as a white man, as a black man, oh, I need to check my privilege on this or like that type of shit. It's just like, you know, the Nick Fuentes stuff is just another version of that same attitude. You know what I mean? Plus, the dude is not look. Nick Fuentes can say whatever he wants, dude. And I don't know how much I can get away with on TikTok because I know TikTok is super woke. But Nick Fuentes is not straight. Let's just say that, right? Nick Fuentes is not a heterosexual male. He just isn't. I'm sorry, he just isn't. He is not. And St. Paul, again, talking about Christianity, St. Paul was extremely clear about about what people you should listen to and you should follow. It was extremely clear about it in the Bible. And the same verse where St. Paul says you should not listen and follow to a woman, right? The same verse that Nick Fuentes brought up when he was talking to Candace Owens, saying, "You're a woman, you're not allowed to lecture me." That same verse, St. Paul said you should not listen to a man that's not married. He said it. Check your Bible. We can pull it up right now. And so I don't know where this dude gets off. You know, I'm sorry, dude. I understand that the guy's a virgin in order to be chaste and stuff. That's fine. I have no problem with that, right? I think that's very noble. But you can't be at the top. You can't be at the front lecturing us if you're unmarried. That is a core Christian belief. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about Nick Fuentes. People, if people are interested in talking about Nick Fuentes, we can talk about Nick Fuentes. But um, drinking mate, 100%. How to get remote work? Um, I don't know, dude. What do you do for work remotely? How do I get on that cruise? If you if you wanna be partying on that yacht in Latin America, go to the link in my bio, fill out the form, and I'll text you. But to be honest, so me and my business partner honestly are probably gonna be moving away from these group trips. We're probably just be doing one of these like open call group trips per month because I'm dealing with people that are honestly the biggest fucking pussies in the world. These people fill out this form and they just can't make a fucking decision. So, you know, and yeah, and yeah, like if you feel like I'm calling you out, if you're on this live and you feel like I'm calling you out, I'm calling you out. Like I'm talking about you. It's like, "Oh, I don't know, like, I should, like, wait, like, 5 days." It's like, you're a little bitch. I just don't like dealing with people like that. I don't like dealing with people who are, like, feel like they have to, like, think about stuff and, like, consult stuff. Like, you're a man, bro. You need to start acting like a man. You need to start making decisive actions. And maybe that's not going on my group trip. That's fine. I don't care. But, like, you need to approach things in life more decisively. Sorry, that's a little bit of a rant. He's a Fed just pushing whatever side he needs to. The US is a bubble, 100%. Can I ball out in South America on $4,400 a month? You know you can, Roger. You've been balling out in South America like crazy. S- Roger knows South America better than I do, bro. Paulie, dude, you're awesome. Thanks for the videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Um, Traveling the world made me more far right wing. It made me more right wing too. I'm looking for a European or Latino. What do you suggest? Argentina. I don't like dealing with people. Period. Yeah, me neither. I'm just kidding. I actually like it. I have a great life. I feel really blessed. One thing that I was really happy about. I'm gonna start pushing this more because this was like a bunch of free money. We're in a right wing safe space. Yeah, dude, talk your shit. I mean, like, look, I mean, there's some stuff that the dude says that I like. I'm not gonna say that there isn't, you know what I mean? But I'm just calling him out on those specific things. But yeah, we're the funny thing is that like liberals are actually always so surprised by how right wing the travel community is, which is actually kind of funny. Like the travel community is incredibly right wing. Um wouldn't say more than a week here. Yeah, I mean that's perfect because this group trip is only a week. So problem solved. Which countries have the largest chest women? I need to know. In South America, the country with the women with the largest chests is Paraguay. If you want, thanks for the Panther pause, you guys. I don't even know what that is, but I appreciate it. Um, like it is crazy the size of the breasts of Paraguayan women in comparison to the rest of South America. I would argue Paraguay might be the only Latin American country with big breasted women. They're obviously like Brazil has so many different types of women that like obviously like there are some big breasted women in Brazil inevitably, but Paraguay is the only one that has like, thin waist, huge honkers. And the reason for that is because Paraguay had a huge amount of German settlement in Paraguay. Like there were a lot of Germans who went to Paraguay and settled. Uh, and Germans just have naturally big breasts. So, what about peaches? All of South America has big peaches, man. So that's like what Latinos are known for. My ex-wife is Bolivian and lived in Paraguay for a bit. Bro, like, can I tell you something, man? Like, I I'm not liking I'm not liking Bolivia right now, man. I'm not liking Bolivia. If you can help me out, I'll change my opinion on Bolivia, but I have not had a single really good meal my entire time in Bolivia. I've not had a single meal my entire time in Bolivia where I've been like, man, I need to go back to this. And me and my wife, we just went to a rodizio spot. For people who don't know rodizio, it's basically like all you can eat, like fogo de chao. Fogo de chao is rodizio, right? We just went to a rodizio spot. I dropped like $60, which in Latin America is a lot of money, and it was fine. But, like, I don't feel like I, like, had this incredible experience. So, I'm getting kinda mad at Bolivia right now that they're not knocking my socks off with food. So, if anybody has any Bolivia, like, food recommendations in Santa Cruz, like, let me know. I'm in Santa Cruz right now. Where should I travel if I'm new? If you're new, man, you need to travel to the beginner spots. You need to travel to where everyone else is going if you're new. Too many people overthink this. Too many people try, like, it's like my first trip abroad, I'm gonna go to like Quito, Ecuador, or I'm gonna go to Jujuy, Argentina, or I'm gonna go to Laos. It doesn't make any sense. Go to the spots that everyone else is going. Go to Costa Rica, go to Brazil, go to Thailand. I mean, go to those places. How long can I stay in Argentina if I want to look for a partner? I think Argentina has like three-month stays. So realistically, what you could do, if you're looking to stay in a place like Argentina, or if you're looking to stay in any South American country, except for Brazil. Brazil has now like put in like visa requirements, but most Latin American countries, what you can do, go there, stay there for 3 months, and then do what's called a visa run, which is basically like you go, you leave, you get your passport stamped, and then you come back, right? That's kind of like the best thing to do, really, for those countries, and that way you get 6 months, and then after 6 months, you can apply for like temporary residency or something like that. Did you check out TripAdvisor restaurant section? I didn't. I guess I could. What country has the best food? The countries with the best food are Japan, Vietnam, India. That's it. Those are the three best food countries in my opinion. Hands down is Japan, India, Vietnam. South Korea has good food though. Malaysia is a great food country. South America doesn't have a lot of good food countries, to be honest. Peru, yeah, sorry. So Japan, Vietnam, India, and Peru are the four best food countries. Whereas at Santa Cruz, what country? Bolivia. Dude, Travelover just says Peru. Peru might be the best Latin American food country. If you're new, go to Gary, Indiana, 100%. Would you not recommend any European countries at the moment? I wouldn't recommend European countries at all. European countries suck. Don't go anywhere in Argentina if you don't speak Spanish. Yeah, I heard about the fires. That was really sad. Just booked a trip for Medellin mid-March. It's always funny to me when like people will come into my live talking about how they booked a trip to Medellin, not knowing that I'm kind of like the anti-Medellin person. You know what I mean? Like followers of mine know my feelings about Medellin and that I'm against it. But then you have people who like come in and like, oh, passport Paulie. He'll definitely love that I'm going to Medellin." And it's like, "No, I've not been to El Salvador. Brazil visa is easy online." Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be going to Brazil as long as the visa rules are in place. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, who really cares? Like, I don't think they're really upset about it. But like, first of all, like I've spent 7 months in Brazil, so like, yeah, there are places that like I can go to Brazil, but like, there's also like, it's not like I need to go to Brazil. You know what I mean? Um, and then on top of that, I hate paperwork. I hate paperwork. Um, that's not how that works. I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to. Japan. Morocco is like okay food, but Morocco's not like a top food country. Yeah, I'm talking about like so someone says honestly America because we have everything. I mean, when I do these rankings, obviously I'm not including America. America is obviously number one in everything. USA number one, we're the best. America, fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah. America, freedom is the only way, yeah. Terrorist, your day is through. So now you have to answer to America. Fuck yeah. I just dated myself. Every millennial knows exactly what I'm singing, but like the people who are like Gen Z have no idea. But people think that I hate America because I travel abroad. I don't. Like I still love America and America is still my favorite country on earth. It's just that right now America has huge problems. And I think that as a like as a like young person, as a young man, you don't really have the luxury to sit around and wait for these problems to be solved before you start living your life. So that is the reason why I recommend young men specifically to leave America is because you know you just can't wait for these problems to be solved. You can't wait for the affordability crisis to be over. You can't wait for women to stop being horrible because of feminism. You know what I mean? Like you just can't, you can't wait for these problems to be fixed, right? So you need to go out and you need to make your own life better. But America is still the best country in the world, in my opinion. Is March a good time for a Medellin trip? Just booked. I don't know why somebody's like, "Yo, I just booked this trip. Did I did I do a good I like was this a good idea?" It's like, "Sure, man." I've been to Romania. They're like the Latinas of Europe, bro. People who say this stuff, people who say that Eastern Europeans are the Latinas of Europe, don't know anything about Latinas and very clearly don't know anything about Slavic women either. I am a Slavic person. My entire family is from Poland. There are literally streets in Poland with my last name on it, named after my direct family members who like my parents knew. That is how Polish I am. And I'm telling you that Polish women are not like Latinas at all. Morocco is probably one of the best countries for living. Yeah, 100%. Peru, best food in South America. Anyone who knows, they knows. Bro, why do you recommend where you were to go and we never see where this place is? This is the funny thing. Well, so first of all, the reason why I don't do a lot of like IRL content is because my IRL content doesn't do numbers. That's the very clear fact. I would love to do more IRL content. I love to do more content of me walking around the city and being like, "Oh, look at this food stall," right? Like I would love to do that content. That content is so easy to do, but for some reason, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I just don't know how to do that content. Either I don't know how to do that content, or people are just not interested in me doing that content. So that's why I don't do that content. But you can go through my history and see I have a lot of videos of me in places. I have recently videos of me in Asuncion, Paraguay. I have a video of me recently in Egypt. I have a video of me recently in Korea. I have a bunch of videos of me walking around Korea, and you can see there are buildings behind me in Korean. So like there are people who go to my page and watch two videos, and they're like, "Why don't you ever show this?" It's like, bro, I've been showing that. You just only seen two videos, bro. Um, there's little to no paperwork. You fill out a form and it's done. That's too much paperwork for me, bro. Um, any South American countries that speak plenty of English? None. No, not really. South Park creators' first movie around 2000. Yeah, I have a funny story about that. But in Morocco, do the pay for play ladies stay the night? No. Rio or Sao Paulo or Buenos Aires for baddies. None of those cities are good for getting baddies. You need to go to a tier two city. I met a 10 in Italy. I'm going to see her for 3 months. She young and not indoctrinated yet. Dude, that's top tier. Italian women are top tier. I say this to people all the time. Like Italy, like Italian women. If there was if there was an Olympic contest for cooking and fucking, Italian women would win the gold medal every year. It would be an Italian woman winning the gold medal every year in cooking and fucking. Now, are they the best at cooking? Maybe, maybe not. Chinese people are good at cooking. You know, Japanese people are good at cooking. Indian women are good at cooking. Peruvian women are good at cooking. But none of those people are good at fucking. And like in the fucking category, like Brazil, Colombia, these women might be able to outfuck an Italian woman, but they can't outcook her at all. So an Italian woman, I think, is like an S tier woman, a woman to get. Um, bro, you don't even know Spanish. You can't even say Medellin right. That's that. It is so fun. Like this comment in a nutshell is is my TikTok experience. Somebody's like, you don't even know Spanish, you can't even say Medellin right. This person doesn't know that in Medellin, in the Paisa accent in Medellin, they pronounce Medellin as Medellin. This is the type of person who goes to Medellin, only hangs out with gringos, and then comes back to America and calls it Medellin. And anybody who's actually been to Medellin and hung out with Colombianas from Medellin knows that that's not how you say it. Is Poland Slavic? Thought maybe dramatic. Poland is Slavic. Paraguay was great. Paraguay is one of the best countries to pick up girls. Um, will we see Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl? Like, am I going to the Super Bowl? No. How hard is it in South America with a little Spanish? You can get by, dude. You can get by. Never would have thought of it for the second part. I don't know what that means. Can you like for the screwing? Yeah, they're great. Can bro pick up girls in the US of A? Yeah, dude, I can. I find this funny because literally like people make this joke about me and it's like fine, but like you have so many passport bros that are like way more attractive than I am and are making so much more money than me, and they still decide to go abroad because they know that it's better. So Argentina is off limits without fluent Spanish. I can't really answer that question because I speak Spanish. So I grew up in Mexico. Romania gave me the same conservative vibes. Yeah, I mean, the question is like, how are you defining Latina? That's the question. Like my wife is Venezuelan. So you guys can gaslight me on this all you want. But my wife grew up, lived in Latin America for literally her entire life. Until age 27, she had never left South America, right? So my wife is a Latina, no other culture, Latina. Literally, the first country she went to after Latin America was Poland. We stopped in France for 3 days, but it was literally like Latin America, we flew to Poland to go look after my grandma. So, like, m my wife me and my wife know better than literally any other people on planet Earth the cultural differences between Latin America and Poland, and I can tell you that they're 2 completely different cultures. So you can say like, "Oh, like, they're conservative Christian," which, like, Poland isn't conservative Christian really, but, like, okay, but besides that, the 2 cultures are almost have absolutely nothing in common with one another. Um, Brazil isn't too bad with English. I mean, I think you're fine in Brazil without speaking Portuguese. You can use your translator, bro. Most of these places you can use your translator. Best spot in Colombia for conservative Christians. Just go to the country. South American connoisseur. Um, how you met your wife? I actually met her on Tinder, dude. It's funny. Yeah, we met on Tinder. We went out to dinner, and it was literally like love at first sight. And we were like, and we literally since we met, we have spent every single day together. Like, at first, it was like us dating, but we moved in together, like, a month after we started dating. Like, me and my wife, it was like love at first sight, so, which, by the way, has its own complications. Like, love at first sight is not as simple as people think it is. You end up fighting a lot with love at first sight, and the reason is because, like, if you kinda decide immediately, like, "Oh, this is my person," like, I love this person, right? Like, you're gonna end up fighting a lot because they're not the person, you know, like what happens with love at first sight, right? Is you have this image of a person that you want, and the other person ends up being like 98% of that person. And one of the big challenges you face, and one of the big challenges that me and my wife faced in our relationship in the beginning was coming to terms with the fact that, like, yes, this person is 98% of what I want. They're not the other 2%, and you need to be okay with that. So just letting us know. What it's like for pay for play. Just go to a famous pay for play spot. You know what I mean? Like, go to, like, what is it, like, Fisherman's Club? Is that what it's called in San Jose? Athletic Club or something like that. Go to El Cocal in Jaco. Go to a Terma in Brazil, and then literally, like, just sit down. A girl will approach you. She's gonna want to talk to you for a little bit and just be like, "Yo, just like let's just skip this and just like, do you want to bang or not?" And then just negotiate price. Um, yeah, Polish culture and Latin culture are completely different. Sometimes it's better to drive around town for a better restaurant. I don't know what that's about, but I completely agree. Yeah, don't go to Medellin. Um, really, love at first sight. Really, either she needed a meal or what the fuck. That is the problem when dating from another country. Does she really like you? Yeah, dude. Here's the thing, right? I can go into it, but, like, I promise you, man, my wife really likes me. I promise you, my wife really likes me. First of all, like, my wife, and this is generally a green flag. Like, I'm literally like 95% of who my wife talks to. It's me and her family. That's literally it. So it's like one of the easiest ways to tell if you're getting played. Or like one of the biggest ways to head off getting played, like if your girl has her circle of friends, right, that she spends like 30, 40, 50% of her time with, like I would say that's a red flag, but that makes it possible for you to get played because that means that there, she has a relationship hierarchy in her head. And even though you're her husband, you might not be number one in that relationship hierarchy, right? Your opinion of her might not be number one in like opinions of me that I care about, right? So with Latinas and like girls especially, there's a way that people do this as like very manipulatory and like, I think kind of bad, which is, people will like close off her social circle of friends, like make her dependent on you. I think viewing it like that is like a negative thing, but I think the more positive way of viewing it is like, you two are married now, you two are in a relationship, you really shouldn't be like, out hanging out with a bunch of other people. Like, get down to the business, get down to getting married. So yeah, man, I'm 100% certain my wife, loves me for me. That doesn't mean that we're not that we can't get divorced. Like, there's always a possibility, but if we do, it's because she also hates me. But that's just being married. What is the best basketball runs? What do you mean basketball runs? How to manage not being lonely when traveling so much. Honestly, like I was talking about this with somebody like the other day. Like you should paper plate. No, it's pay per play, not paper plate. Like I think that like when you're traveling, you need to lean into the loneliness, right? You like that feeling when you're like alone in your apartment and you're like, what do I do? I don't know anybody, nothing, yada yada yada. Like that's the thing that's gonna kick you in the butt and get you to go meet people. You know what I mean? So don't like manage the loneliness. Use the loneliness as like, as a way to, motivate you to go out and meet people and do stuff. It's impossible in a second tier Brazil city without English. I've traveled through the country. It's not like, bro, people fucking are gaslighting me like crazy. Like I don't know what the gaslighting is about, man. I don't know what the gaslighting is about. Like I spent a month and a half in Vila Bela and I didn't speak Portuguese. What are you talking about? It's impossible. How did I do it then? My wife is Latina, yeah. Is Passport Bros really only for tech guys, nomads? Well, I mean, it is only for nomads, but you don't have to work in tech. What one thing I find funny, so Joe Dagger has clearly only been to like Buenos Aires, and so he's saying that Argentina is very feminist compared to Brazil. I find it funny when like a person only goes to one city in a country and then makes like an opinion of that country based off of that one city. Um, it's a very funny thing to me. Because what should happen when you travel, and this is what happens to me and happens to a lot of other people, is the more you travel, the more you realize you don't know. Like my first week in Rio de Janeiro, I was like, yeah, man, I've been to Brazil now. I know Brazil. But then like every extra day, you realize that like you don't know even Rio yet, right? And like I feel like the more you travel, the more you should have this sense of like, I don't know anything about these places, right? Um, Basketball runs as in the best basketball competition. The best basketball competition is gonna be in the United States. um, Lots of 2 decades plus divorces. No, dude. Um, Prenups are bad. Don't get a prenup. Do you recommend Salvador Bahia, Brazil? Not for you. because it's clear that you've never been to Brazil. If you've never been to Brazil, go to Rio. Don't overthink it. Um, I'm fluent in Spanish. I feel like I would do good and have a good job lined up starting soon. Okay. Do you have Spanish? Yeah. I don't know who Redbeard Ranson is. Why do I say prenups are bad? um, so here's the thing, right? Like, um, if you're marrying someone in America, like I can see the reason for a prenup, but you shouldn't marry someone in America. That's the solution to the problem, right? You shouldn't get a prenup because when you get a prenup, you're marrying somebody with one foot out the marriage. You're marrying someone with like the expectation that you two are gonna get divorced. And you shouldn't do that. You should marry the person with the expectation that you two are going to be together forever. And like the question of like, will we get divorced? The answer should be no. Never. It's never gonna happen. Never. Right? That's the answer. Right? And like, the solution to the divorce problem, the solution of women taking everything from you in a divorce is to just not get divorced. It's as simple as that. It's to have a traditional wife, to have a traditional family. It's to go to church every Sunday. It's to read the Bible with your wife every day and reinforce those lessons of of your proper roles and the way that you two need to treat each other. People who get divorced are people who like getting divorced is like getting fat or like getting broke, right? People who go to the gym every day don't get fat. It doesn't happen. Because if you go to the gym every day, you're at least consciously, like taking care and considering your personal health and your nutrition and everything. So you're not going to go you're not like if you go to the gym every single day for half an hour and you are skinny, I can pretty much promise you're never going to be fat. Right? That is the solution, right? Um, take it from a fat person, right? You get fat by not caring about nutrition over a long enough period of time that it catches up to you. And that's the same thing with divorce. Divorce happens because you and your wife have neglected your relationship. There is a time and a place where the two of you were absolutely in love with you and you got in love with each other when you got married. The fact like it wasn't there wasn't some supernatural. I see there's 21 messages now. People really hate this take. But there wasn't some supernatural spell that got cast over you. There wasn't some crazy thing that happened. It was you and your wife neglecting your relationship. And that fundamentally comes down to you as the man of the family, right? We can talk about traditional relationships all we want. And I believe in traditional relationships. But part of the role of a man in a traditional relationship is reinforcing the values of that relationship every single day. That's your job. That's your job to sit down with your wife and say, "We're opening the Bible today, and we're going to read from the Bible, and we're going to read this passage about your job, and you need to be good at this. And we're going to read a passage about my job in the family, and I need to be good at this." And you not doing that's why you got divorced. That's the fundamental reason why. So I see I have 33 messages. I'm just gonna rush through these because people apparently hate this take, but you also been married for like a year, dude. Sure, man. I mean, this is based upon stuff that I've heard from from tons of other people who've been married though. So I'm sorry, like, this isn't my take. This is my take that I've heard from a ton of other people. So if you want to throw the you've only been married for a year and your young take at me, I'm not going to accept that take because I'm taking this from people who've been happily married for decades. Um, anyway, what do you think about Bolivia? I've been in Bolivia for 2 weeks so far. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, man. I'm not too. Uh, it's hard to put my up and coming business on the line when I have kids. Like you and your wife should be partners in this, though. It's an insurance precaution. You shouldn't have insurance when you're going into a marriage. Yeah, just don't get divorced. Why didn't I think of that? Exactly. Why didn't you think of that? Lots of women leave duty and responsibility for happiness emotional. Yeah, because you haven't been reinforcing your um your values in the relationship. Insurance is not good though. Like insurance in a lot of situations is good. Insurance is not good in this situation because insurance is getting you to think to come up with the idea to um I'm 24, bro. If you can't trust, don't marry. That's 100% true, man. My cousin wants to marry a foreign girl and bring her to the US. She's gonna realize he's a loser here. Um, okay, there's a much more complicated answer that I don't feel like giving, but I'll just say that like why would he want to move back to the United States? It's so much better living abroad. If I've learned anything in life, never trust women. I mean, that's a recipe for a sad and lonely life. How much for the yacht? I rented it for $1,500, 14 people, 100 beers, lunch for five. So this group trip is 1250 for a week. You're smart and give great advice and help people, but this take is an L. That's fine, man. I'm here. I'm happy. I'm fine with people disagreeing with me, man. I'm very happy with us disagreeing, with us having a debate. And maybe in 5 years I get divorced and my wife takes everything and I feel like a complete piece of shit and a loser and an idiot for having this take. I hope I don't, but maybe I do. That's very possible. As people said, we've only been married for a year. I might be wrong, but that's my take, and that's my belief on it. Jesus Christ said that God put you and your wife together, and no human being can separate what God put together. If you believe in God, you don't believe in divorce, which opens up a whole can of worms about Protestantism. But I'm not going to even get into that. Um, Best women to bring back to the United States. Don't bring any women back to the United States. Best place in Colombia to go with your fiance. Don't go anywhere in Colombia with your fiance. With your fiance, you should be going to Paris. That's where you should be going. You should be going to Paris or Aruba. I heard a divorce lawyer say those who get prenups less likely divorce. Oh wow, a divorce lawyer said that? Dude, this is the one huge problem I think we have as a society with like podcast culture is that if a guy's on a podcast wearing a nice watch, we automatically listen to him. We used to have like personal guards against this stuff. This is why humanity invented lawyer jokes to teach young people to not listen to lawyers because lawyers are self-interested. Lawyers will give you advice to get more money out of you. You don't trust a lawyer. That's why literally every single lawyer joke, the punchline of every lawyer joke is the only good lawyer is a dead lawyer. So no, don't listen to the divorce lawyer about staying married. That's a terrible idea. And by the way, just as a technical matter, like the divorce lawyer said this is himself. If you listen to his interview, he says he has no idea those who gets prenups are less likely to divorce because there's no statistics on who gets prenups. So you don't actually know that. So he's giving you bullshit in order to get you to give a prenup because he knows it's going to get you divorced. As someone who's older than you, I'll give you that you're wiser than years. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You think you're gonna make money on this live disagreeing with people, but you aren't. Bro, I make absolutely no money on my lives. Literally, like, the most I've made on a live has been, like, $5. I make no money in my lives. The way that I make my money is either through 1-hour consultations or people booking my trips. That's how I make money. And both of those income streams rely on trust. Both those income streams rely on people saying, I may not agree with Paul on stuff, but I trust that A, he's giving me his honest opinion, and B, that his honest opinion is well thought out, right? And so 100% I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say my honest opinion, and I'm going to give you my well thought, rationale opinion for it. A, because that's just how I am as a person, but B, because the actual ways that I make money, you know, incentivize that. Would you kiss Jesus on the lips sloppy style if he asked? That's like really disrespectful. We're all degens. Have I been considered becoming Venezuelan? We're considering moving to Venezuela, but we're like monitoring the situation. My only worry is that if you bring a woman here, they get feminized by the culture here. 100%. 100%. And you shouldn't bring a woman back to the United States. Me as an attorney listening to this, yeah, I mean, that's just like, I mean, you've never heard lawyer jokes before? Get a prenup. Never get married without a prenup. Again, I disagree, man. Not gonna lie, I'd be scared for my life if I was with you on a boat. I've been sailing my entire life. So, um, um, you live in Colombia now. No, I'm in Bolivia right now. We're moving to Argentina next week. Um, what's the biggest body of water I've sailed? I've never like done like really like long haul sailing. I've sailed on the Atlantic. I grew up sailing on the Hudson River. I've sailed in the Mediterranean. I've sailed. Me and my family we sailed around Corsica. Yeah, those are kind of the big places that we've sailed. And then obviously, I've sailed in the Caribbean too. We sailed around the British Virgin Islands. Are you moving around South America for the experience, or is there a purpose? Um, Honestly, like I just kind of have a restless soul. I just kind of need to be rambling, which ironically I think is a very American thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, man. Like I was talking to my wife about this. Like she really wants a lot of stability, and like I understand it. And like if push comes to shove, and like I have to settle down somewhere, and like she says like we're doing this, like I'll do it. But I just have a st- I just have this itch in my soul, man, where I need to be on the next adventure. I need to be going to the next thing. I need to be going somewhere. I don't know what it is, man. It's just the way that I'm built, you know. Um, let's see. Top three Latin American countries for women to marry. I think Venezuelan women are the best women to marry, but that's also because I'm married to a Venezuelan. My opinion on the Maduro incident. Every Venezuelan, including my wife, loves the Maduro incident. Um, I'm a first time traveler. I'm going to Thailand. Good decision. 100%, man. Thailand is an amazing first time travel decision. One thing I was just say is that, like, after you go to Thailand, go to other places. There's few things like more annoying than people who go to Thailand and then just never go anywhere else. Um, how do is your wife Colombian? No, she's Venezuelan. What sports do they mainly play in South America? Soccer? How do friends and family and old classmates treat you after going abroad to date and marry? I never post on social media. Um, Most like all of them are really supportive about it. To be honest with you, man, like I think that like one thing that like one real mindset shift that happens when you move abroad, um, and this happens around like month 5 or 6, is you really stop giving a shit what people say and what people think about you back home. And I think it's because like for the first 3 months when you're traveling, you kind of you're still in the world of back home, right? Like let's say you left New York and you're traveling abroad, right? Like in the first 5 or 6 months, you're still kind of in the world of New York. You know what I mean? Like you're still in that world. You're still like, that's still your social circle. But like you know, once you spend 3 months, your mind kinda gets washed of those people, and you start to build, like, new social circles and new relationships and new people, and you realize you're just so much happier with these new people, and you kind of come to the realization, you're like, "These people back home never really made me happy." I mean, you're not mad at them or whatever, you're just like, "These people aren't my people, these people didn't make me happy." Right? So what do I care what they think about me? I tell this to my friend all the time who I think should become a passport bro. I'm like, bro, like he doesn't want to do it because he's afraid that like these girls that he knows are gonna like look down on him for like being a passport bro. And I'm like, okay, well, like, do you sleep with these women? And he's like, no. Half of them I don't want to, and half of them don't want to sleep with me. And I'm like, okay, well then why do you care what they have to say? And that's an important thing. Like you really like anybody who's not paying my bills or, S'ing my D, I don't give a shit what they have to say about me at all. So, and that really settles in a profound way 5 to 6 months after you start traveling. So, people can say what they want about me. I don't give a shit. I'm happy. I think about this every day. I've been in a really good mood the past couple months. I wake up every morning really feeling very grateful and very happy. I go to sleep. I literally every single night before I go to sleep, I like kiss my wife. I've started thanking her for being my wife just 'cause I feel so grateful about how amazing she is. I, you know, I don't even I like I used to pray for things before I go to sleep. Now I just pray and thank God for the amazing life that He's given me. And I'm like, bro, I'm so happy. I just don't care what anyone thinks. Like me doing what you would want me to do with my life. I'm not saying you. I'm saying those other people would make me unhappy. So like, why? If your opinion of me, if me pursuing actions that made you have a positive opinion of me would make me unhappy, then like, why would I care about your opinion of me? Um, Passport bro, final boss. See, exactly, man. Like, I do not care. Um, yeah, I remember when you started this channel, you're doing great. Congratulations. Thanks, man. Vietnam is great. Vietnam is like my top country. Where would you go after Thailand? I would go to Vietnam, I would go to Philippines, I would go to Japan. Um anyway. Trump blocked immigration from 75 countries. Does that include K1 for Colombia and Venezuela? I believe it does. Um is Spain similar to Latin America? No. Um I don't answer questions that have heights in them. Thankfully, I'm already liking that. A lot of women in the United States do hate it when I mention I've dated Brazilian women. Ultimately, they hate to see guys winning. Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, fundamentally, passport bros are the like you have all these red pill dudes, but like at the end of the day, most of the red pill dudes are telling guys to get in better shape and make more money, which like doesn't threaten feminism at all. If anything, that's the biggest benefit to feminism. This is the funny thing is like you have like Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit being like feminists hate me, and I'm like, do they really though? Because like you're telling guys to get in shape and make more money, which makes means that there's a larger pool of attractive men for women to date. How is that an anti-feminist thing? That feminists must love you. But passport bros are the only real threat to feminism because we're telling guys to just leave the country. And like no girl feels threatened by me leaving, but once Chads start leaving, then it becomes a problem. I was actually talking on the phone today with a guy who was 27. I don't know if he's in this live. He's 27. He's making well into six figures, and he's a very good looking dude. And he's like, I'm moving to Colombia because I can't stand American women. And I'm like, again, like American women don't care about me leaving. They care about him leaving, though. Um, Stop spamming, damn. um, Favorite four are Japan, Morocco, Spain, and Turkey. I've been to Japan, Morocco, and Spain. Um, Mongolia are the best looking Asian women, 100%. I want to go to South America after Thailand, or should I do Asia first? Yeah, man. I mean, do whatever. Do whatever floats your goat, bro. Do whatever floats your goat. If you want to go, if you go want to go Asia, yo, thanks for the hat and mustache. If you want to do oh shit, that was a big one. Thanks a lot for that for that hat and mustache. If you want to do Asia, do Vietnam, Malaysia, Japan, Philippines. If you want to do South America after Thailand, do Colombia, do Brazil, do Argentina. Saludos from Mexico, my new home base. Nice, dude. We got a new light. I'm out of here. All right, dude. Give bro some gifts. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I met Roosh V at an event 10 years ago. I don't know. I don't know who Roosh V is, to be honest. Yo, thanks for the rose, man. I don't know who Roosh V is. Who's Roosh V? Is he like another Passport Bro creator? Um, I went to Cartagena. This guy's advice post amazing. I'll be following his recommendations. See, guys, these are some good recs, bro. These are some good recs. Do I miss my parents and siblings? I've always like lived away from my parents and siblings, so I don't really. It's nothing really that different. Is there a big sports scene in South America? Yeah, dude. South American sports games, like South American soccer matches, are some of the best sports you'll ever go to. Rouge V is one of the original Red Pill guys. He was the first famous passport bro. He talked about Medellin 20 years ago. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Props to him. Darius. Oh, cool. I kind of assumed that he was like Indian. Um, he was sanctioned by YouTube. Huh. Okay, awesome. This guy seems pretty cool. Best country I visited is Japan. I've never been to Angel Falls, Venezuela. I would love to go though. Please do an Argentina guide TikTok. I might. My Argentina videos don't get that many views though. Is basketball bigger in South America or Asia? It's big in China, but it's not really big at all in South America, to be honest. Someone said some dolphins. I appreciate that. You came to Christ after a near death experience. Nice, dude. I'm always pro people. I'm always pro people coming to Christ. I'm Christian myself, so all right, guys. Well, it seems like this has kind of died down a little bit. I appreciate everyone joining. If anybody has any last minute questions, let me know. I'm gonna end my other streams. How did I cope with leaving everything in America? To be honest, like I just wasn't happy in America. And you kind of have to make that decision. Like at a certain point where like you're not if you're not happy where you are, you have to go find somewhere that you're happy. You know what I mean? And at that point it just doesn't really matter what you have to do or you have to like go, leave or whatever. Like you need to go and be happy. That's number 1. That's number 1. Everything else is number 2. Um how much is the yacht trip package? 6 days, it's 1250, $1,250. That includes your Airbnbs, that includes breakfast, that includes lunch, that includes yacht trips, that includes ATV trips, that includes private security, an off-duty cop, not a retired cop, an off-duty cop. And, so he like knows police officers who he will call if stuff gets out of hand. You're also going to be with other travelers as well who will, you'll be able to watch each other's back, you know, protect each other, all that type of stuff. So I think it's a great deal. 1250, $1,250. The only thing it does not cover is dinner, drinks, and what's it called? Women and flights. That's fire. I did not pay Adrian to say that. Adrian said that on his own volition. The Mexican cartels actually, I've never dealt with the cartels, man. I can't really give an opinion on that. But yeah, man, thanks everyone. But why boat? Because in Cartagena, like the actual beaches in Cartagena suck. You need to get out of Cartagena and you need to go to the islands in the south. That's where all the real beaches are. Sarah Michelle. My yo, Sarah, I'm sorry. I'm about to leave. You came at the end of the stream, but I'll be back on Monday. So I need to give my voice a rest. I'll be back on Monday and I'll see you guys then. Anyway, talk to y'all later. Thanks a lot.